In this video, I'm going to go over the final research presentation. If the class meets on campus at the end of the course, each student has to give a 5-minute research presentation in PowerPoint in class. In the event that class is conducted online, students will instead turn in a PowerPoint presentation with notes on the slides to indicate what they would say in class if they were presenting the slides in class. Please see the PowerPoint lecture on Blackboard for tips on how to make a PowerPoint presentation. In either case, in the presentation, students have to use descriptive statistics to analyze the effect of an independent variable on a dependent variable. Students should structure the presentation in the following way. At the beginning of the presentation, students should include a title slide in their presentation with a title for the presentation and their name. Then they should add slides where they briefly describe how their variables are measured. Then they should use descriptive statistics to describe how each variable is distributed and what the typical case of each variable is, such as mean, median, or mode. Then students should use descriptive statistics to analyze the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. If students are using data that includes a categorical dependent and independent variables, they should use a 2D bar chart to analyze the data. If they are using a categorical independent variable and continuous dependent variable, then they should use a 3D bar chart to analyze the data. If they are using a continuous independent variable and a continuous dependent variable, they should use a scatter plot with a linear trend line included. Students should conclude their presentations by discussing why the findings of the analysis are important and how they could be of interest to policymakers and/or the general public. Note, students should refer to the lectures and previous assignments for information about how to properly interpret the statistics. To begin this project, students should choose data they want to analyze and begin compiling it. The data should be organized in Excel as follows. Columns 1 to 2, unit of analysis, cities, countries, etc., and time period. Column 2 or 3, the independent variable, and column 3 or 4, the dependent variable. For political science, global studies, urban studies, and environmental studies students, they may choose 2 variables from the World Bank dataset in their analysis. They can get to the data using these web links here. The data they choose must align with their major. To download the data, they should do this for each variable separately, then combine the 2 data sets into one. In country, select the country you want to analyze or countries you want to analyze. So I will pick a few. In series, choose the variable that you want to analyze. I suggest starting with the independent variable. In time, choose the years you want to analyze. You could do 1 year or multiple years. Select Apply Changes. Click Download Options, Excel. And then depending what browser you use, you could either open it immediately or you have to save it and then open it. Note that if you are analyzing data from more than 1 year, the variable for each year will be in separate columns, so you have to move the data from this column underneath here to combine it to make it one variable. So to do that, the first thing you want to do is insert a column here for year, so you know which year the data is applying to. So in this area here, we're going to start with 2014. And then I'm going to copy and paste this all the way down. Then I want to make this make data for 2015. So I'm going to select these countries and copy them and paste them here. And then I'm going to make this 2015 because that's the second year I chose, and copy and paste that all the way down. And then I can copy and paste all of this information under here. Just make sure it's correct. It should align at the end. And then what I can do is delete this and delete this and rename this access to electricity. And there I have my data set. Note that when you are done with doing your independent variable, you will want to do this again for your dependent variable. Also note that you want to get rid of missing values in the data. To do that, you want to select Sort Filter, Custom Sort, sort by the column that you want to sort by, in this case, access to electricity. And if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see that there are 4 missing cases. You can hold the left mouse button on the first row number that's missing and scroll down, and then lift up the left mouse button, right click and delete, and it'll delete all the data. Then what you want to do is resort the data. So the first level should be year, and the second level should be country name. And now the data are sorted the way you originally sorted them. So for criminal justice students, they may use U.S. states data from the FBI and other states data sets in their analysis. They can visit this website here to get to FBI state crime data. When you go to the website, you can click on the map on a particular state to get data for that state. Then you can scroll down, choose this image here to pick which statistic you want displayed. So I'll choose homicide. And if you hover over a particular data point, it'll tell you the statistic for that particular year in that state. So in this case, in 2018, California had a homicide rate of 4.4. You can also use this data or data from these websites to gather data on states, but you may also use Google to look for state-level data. Students using this data should make sure the data are organized correctly. So for example, if a student wants to analyze data on all 50 states over time, the first column in the data set should be U.S. states, the second column should be year, the third column should be a state variable such as unemployment rate, and the fourth column should be the crime statistic. Note, you will have to sort each variable to make sure that there are no missing values. If there is a missing value, you can right-click on the row number for that observation and delete it. Other data options. Of course, students may choose data from other data sets and compile them as long as the data are related to their major and the data are organized correctly, such as the first columns having the unit of analysis and the subsequent columns are the independent and dependent variables. They will have to look for this data on their own. Students should email the instructor their Excel file for the project by April 15, 2020 at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. In their email, they should note where they collected their data from. On the final day of class, April 29, 2020, students should email their slides to the instructor by 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Grades on the presentation will be based on the following: Excel file completion, 25%, analysis of data, 25%, presentation of slides in verbal or text form in the slide notes, 25%, oral presentation, 25%. Here I give you some tips on data visualization. Please read them closely and watch the video I posted on how to do these things in Excel and PowerPoint.